Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Twinspires.com. Darin Zoccali, Scott Shapiro back with you as the road to the Kentucky Derby also makes a stop in Hot Springs at Oaklawn Park for the Southwest Stakes. Of course, a big step on the road to the Derby through Arkansas and a big guy to follow, Scott Shapiro. How about a $59 winner in prep race last weekend? Scott, can we do it again?
Well, I'm not going to be as ambitious in this spot, but I do think it's a pretty interesting race in terms of an analytical puzzle. Definitely some good value options. As you'll see, we both are going to land on horses that are not the favorite or really anywhere close to it. But looking forward to this one, a grade 3 event with points on the line, Darin.
Points are on the line, and that's important to note because any point scoring race is eligible for the $100,000 Road to the Kentucky Derby prep race competition. Make sure to go to twinspires.com. If you're going to bet this race, you have to opt in and be a part of that contest and claim your stake to $100,000. And remember, horses that are not eligible to earn Kentucky Derby points also do not qualify for points in the contest. So keep that in mind when placing your wagers. All right, Scott, let us take a look at this field here. It is a very big group of runners. It's a tough field to navigate. Let's take a look at the pace scenario. The inside runner, Ben Diesel, from the outside post last time in the Smarty Jones, really had to run hard to get that lead. He's got a better draw here to try to set things up.
He sure does, and we'll talk about him later when we talk about our selections, but I don't think he's a horse that needs the lead. You mentioned the outside post last time out and the time before in the Kentucky Jockey Club in his first start against winners at Churchill Downs. But I do see plenty of speed signed on in here, Darin. I'd be very, very surprised if there's not at least an honest pace, if not a highly contentious one, which will make things interesting. A lot of the horses from the outside, including the favorite, which we'll talk about in a second, number 10, Newgrange, who will not be eligible to earn points, does look like one of the potential pace setters. I don't know if he needs the lead either, but like I said, I'm expecting a pretty contentious run into that first turn.
It certainly seems to be the case. And when we talk about Newgrange, whenever you come out of a race where you beat only 4 rivals and you do it in wire-to-wire fashion, it's really difficult to know just how quick you are. You see the fractions in that race, 24-2 first quarter at Santa Anita, is not something we typically see out in Southern California as well. He's going to have to probably face some adversity for the first time against this group. And the question is, can he handle it, or do you want to bet on him to handle it at a short price?
Yeah, for me, it's going to be a fade. I think he certainly is capable in here. We've seen Bob Baffert win a lot of races in Arkansas, a lot of prep races in Arkansas, but not really this race recently. The last time he won it was in 2013 with Super 99. It's been more the Rebel and the Arkansas Derby. Last time out was kind of a joke there, and it was on New Year's Day in the Sham. And you mentioned the fractions in that race, and a large reason for that was Rockefeller, his stablemate, was the one stalking the pace that day. So obviously pressing each other into defeat was probably not going to happen. That's unlikely in here. There's speed to his outside, speed to his inside. The one thing I'll say, though, is watching his races, I do think he's a horse that could settle just off the pace, assuming he doesn't get a extremely wide voyage into that first turn under Hall of Famer Johnny V. I do think he could work out just off the pace trip, but at 2-1 for me, I have very little interest.
Now, there will be no wide voyage for Ben Diesel, who's breaking from the inside. We talked about him briefly earlier. He did have to go to the front of the Smarty Jones from the wide draw, hoping for a change in tactics here at a better price today, Scott.
Yeah, definitely, Darin. This is the horse that I'm going to make my top selection. We'll see if we get that 10-1 price. Very impressive debut on Halloween. That was the Stars of Tomorrow 1 card at Churchill Downs. And what I like most in that race is his ability to settle. I know it'll look like on paper, and if you watch his last 2 races, he's a horse that needs the lead. But I think with those far outside draws in both the Smarty Jones and the Kentucky Jockey Club, John Court's hand was forced to be aggressive from the gate, and expecting a young horse like this to stop, start, and start back again is kind of wishful thinking in many cases. I think in this case, he can sit a perfect pocket trip under John Court, relax just off the early pace setters, and hopefully get first run on some of the closers if the race begins to collapse. So I think hopefully 8-1 or so, I would guess, for Dallas Stewart. I like Ben Diesel in here.
Well, we're both value shopping. I'm going to land on number 5, Costa Terra here, Scott. This is a horse for Steve Asmussen that I thought was very precocious as a 2-year-old to start his career at Ellis Park. He had a nice-looking maiden win. That second lifetime start in that juvenile stakes, he made a nice move on the turn. And then Ricardo Santana was trying to spend most of the stretch angling him out around horses, but the horse in front of him was drifting a little bit. So then he had to settle to come back in between horses. Things got tight. That's not where you want to put a lightly raced 2-year-old. From there, they thought enough of him to try the Breeders' Futurity, where he did not run poorly at all. And if you take a look at this horse, Scott, he is a big, good-looking son of gun runner with a monstrous stride that just glides over the track and gobbles up ground. I think he's going to get better as the races get longer. I will concede I might be a race or 2 early on this horse because I think he's going to keep getting better, but I don't want to let him get by at a good price because I think he's a talented horse.
Absolutely agree with everything you said. I do think it might be a little overly ambitious to win off the bench here, but he definitely has the pedigree and the look of a horse that's going to thrive as the distances get longer. Agree with your assessment of the trip in the Breeders' Futurity. It was not perfect and far from it. Got out of the gate last, had some issues in there. You know, if you want to say be against this horse out of that race, you can make the argument it was a favorable race shape, and there were those that obviously kicked on better than him. But I think he's set up for a good campaign. Whether he gets the job done in here, we'll see. But the price should be right for you. I'll definitely be including him in my horizontal wagers as well.
Vote of confidence. I like it. Ben Diesel for Scott Shapiro. Costa Terra for myself. Remember to opt into that $100,000 Road to the Kentucky Derby leaderboard, and you can get all of these horses' last race replays at the Twin Spires YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe and check it out. We'll be with you all winter and spring long on the road to the Kentucky Derby. So we look forward to talking to you again, and best of luck in the Southwest.